Pat here, hanging out with the guys from Queensryche. Thank you guys for taking some time to talk to us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Glad to be here.
No problem. We're actually in the city right now. I get incredibly nervous whenever I'm asked to come to the city because I always think, oh my God, they were playing and I forgot to see them. But you guys weren't playing here recently. You guys, your first show is set for February, right?
You didn't come last night?
Ah, crap. All right, so obviously we are here to talk about the new album that's coming out. It's been 4 years since the last album. Verdict is out very soon. When is the release on that?
March 1st, right?
Yep, March 1st on Century Media.
Nice. There's been a lot of hype for this, obviously, just not only because of the band itself, but because this is kind of a shake-up in terms of, like, the band itself. I actually saw something that you were playing drums on the album as well.
Yeah, I played the drums on this record. Original drummer Scott, he had a baby back in 2017, and he took paternity leave, and he's still kind of been on that leave of absence. So, we just continued to keep writing and doing things as a full band like we've always done. He just wasn't available for this one. Right. So, yeah, I mean, I think it all came together pretty seamlessly, actually, and we're looking forward to the release of this record.
I have to ask, do you get double the royalties for that, or is it just...
No, none of that.
I figured I'd ask. Well, it's been obviously like a gap between the albums, and I just need to know, like, is a lot of the material from this one workshopped over the past couple of years, or was this more recent material that you had?
Actually, the reason for the time is that we've been touring so much. And that's a whole story in itself for bands these days. They got to tour to, keep their name in the industry and keep it, to pay rent. So it's a lot of touring, and I think a lot of the creative element in the recording of this album was due to the fact that we've been on the road for so long, and just seeing how the audience reacts to certain songs and certain moods, and I think that kind of fueled the process for this writing of this album. This album, ironically, it was not very fully put together compared to like the last album, Condition Human, which most of the demo songs were written, 95% completed. This album was, first we didn't know who was going to play drums. Right. Secondly, we probably had maybe 2 or 3 songs that were demoed all the way to the end. So when we had Zeus come in and do the pre-production for this album, first off, we had to get the drums situated, which we did. And second was basically write the album in the studio in pre-production, and then learn it, and then record it.
Oh, wow. Yeah, normally, certainly for the last one where we worked with Zeus, typically you would do pre-production and then start recording. Like Michael said, on this one, we spent a good amount of time on pre-production, and we basically get like 3 piles. We have the definite pile of songs that we know will make the record, the next one that are really good but need improving, and then other songs that have, definitely aren't going to make the record, and that'll kind of go in the parts pile. And we'll steal stuff from other songs that will improve the other songs that are in the album pile. But yeah, we were able to do the pre-production, go home, rework those ideas that we discussed, re-record the demos and shape those up. Everyone was on board by the time we were ready to press record. I mean, there was some still experimentation during the recording process, but very minimal. We already knew exactly what we were going to be recording. Yeah.
With that in mind, when you guys were actually going in to record this, did you have kind of in your mindset, because I know that this is kind of like, I'm looking at kind of 2 extremes of the band. We have like the newer age of the band and the original, and I'm asking, like, was this album more geared towards fans who have stuck with the band for so many years, or is this for people who are trying to get their attention nowadays?
Personally, I don't think we went in with a mindset of let's cater to a certain fan base. I think we just wrote songs. Michael would send me songs that he had that he just felt inspired to write at the time, and I think that's the most honest, true way to write and create art, is without this preconceived kind of agenda. I think the only thing that we did, that we went in this record mindful of, was we knew that we wanted to have a few more up-tempo songs, like faster-paced songs. When we did the track listing on the last record, and you're trying to find a good album flow, we noticed, well, that's a mid-paced song. Okay, that's a mid-paced song. Here's a slow one. Well, that's slow, but it's heavy. Where's the fast-paced songs? And so that was kind of the only thing we said, hey, you know, if you guys are working on new stuff, if you're feeling like it, you know, maybe try and write something a little more driving and heavier in that respect. And so when we put this whole album together, we got a really good flowing album, I think.
Also, you know, being in this band for so long, I've seen a natural evolution in this rendition of Queensryche just grow as songwriters, as musicians, and as people, as bandmates. And I think, you know, everybody's getting a little more comfortable at taking creative chances in their writing, and I think it's really it's paying off, and it's, you know, it's a good path to go down, you know, because when you've been doing this for over 30 years and you've written so many songs and so many riffs, it's great when these other guys are, you know, on the same level and coming up with Reichian, you know, riffs. And,
yeah.
And it's, you know, and it's, there's a hunger in the band too. You know, it's, we love what we do, and, you know, we work hard for it. We tour all the time now, and it's constantly, Queensryche is 24 hours a day. And, you know, it pays off once in a while. But, no, I think the band is in a good place with this album, and we're really excited, you know, for everybody to hear this.
I mean, like, just from what we were able to hear from the samples that we got released early, and from the close look that we got to take from it, it doesn't sound like you guys are half-assing this. It sounds like this is a really well put together album. Some things really stuck out for me when I was listening to the copy that we got. I'm really looking forward to hearing what the reaction is going to be to Light Years, because I just heard that, and I think it's one of those situations where you listen to something and you're thrown off for a second by something, because I heard the bass solo in the middle, and I'm just like, oh, okay, cool. So I think I overheard you guys saying that Light Years was probably going to be pushed as a single in the future.
Well, I know we're making a video for that, and I think it's one of the stronger slamming songs, and a lot of people have really gravitated towards that. We have another song that we're doing as a single called Blood of the Levant, and both of those will have videos accompanied with it as well.
When I was just listening to this and hearing you talk about how you thought it was a very driving, very energy-driven album, was that the mindset for putting out, like, as one of the first tastes of the album, Man the Machine?
Yeah, I think, you know, just putting out something to get their attention, you know, that's a pretty heavy song, pretty fast-paced, and it was interesting to read, you know, the positive feedback, and then the speculation of, you know, oh, if this is any indication of what the album sounds like, you know, you've got people that are like all about it, and then other people, you know, maybe not so much. And then we put out Dark Reverie, which was a curveball. So there's a lot of diversity on this record, and I think it's a really interesting fine line when you're writing something to maintain those integral staple sounds that are identifiable with the sound of Queensryche. At the same time, you know, when you do the next record, it's like, how do you still maintain that continuity and that sound and style without feeling like you're regurgitating the same thing? Because that's hard to do for any writer. You sometimes feel like you're doing the same thing, and that was another great thing about working with Zeus, is he understands the entire legacy of the band. Plus, he did Condition Human with us, so when we're working together, he might be like, look, this is cool because this is kind of a classic signature Queensryche thing you're doing. And then he'll also say, nah, we already did that. We're not going to do that again. So that's a very fine line between doing things that are staple sounds to your band without it feeling like you're recreating the same song again. We don't want that. We want it to definitely sound like Queensryche, but we don't want to write the same record the next time.
Plus,
so,
you know, let's face it, these days when you're sampling music, you're hearing the first 5 seconds of a song, skipping to the next 5 seconds of a song. That's just the attention deficit that's happening in,
Our culture.
yeah. But, in Queensryche in the past has traditionally put these big ethereal intros and and all this stuff. And then this one was more of like, let's
get
hit
to
it hard. Let's bolster the energy and let's have fun with this.
Dark Reverie actually came out, the lyric video for that came out yesterday through Century Media, and just looking at the comments, it seems to be getting the same type of like, oh yeah, like this is great. And even the comments on YouTube, which is normally like just a tornado of hatred and misspellings, you got like a lot of praise and a lot of support going for it for even a song like that when you're trying to convey the whole album at once, which is hard to do.
Look, creatively, we're in a good place. We weren't going to put the record out prematurely until we felt like it was a record that felt worthy to our standards, and that's why it's coming out in early 2019 as opposed to last year. And you're not going to please everyone, but I can say that there's been an overwhelming positive response from industry people that have the record early. We've even gotten comments so far as to say it's the best Queensryche album made in the last 25 years. Now, obviously, that's all subjective, but these are from people that are very honest and very critical, and so just to have such positive reviews so far, we're really looking forward to the listener hearing it as one entire body of work. And Queensryche records are always albums that you go back and you get another little piece from, and they grow on you. I don't think that we expect, it to be just blown away the first listen, although that's great. But a lot of times people, I've even read things where people said, the song was okay, but now after hearing this for a week, or whatever, I can't get it out of my head, and it's now one of my favorite songs. So it's already picking up a lot of good traction.
Yeah, and it's like you say the media can be really harsh and critical and think they know everything, and it's
fans too.
Yeah, and I think, look, we listen, to a certain point, but we want to write for what we appreciate in our creativity as well. So
right.
I think there's we've learned that it's a different market out there these days. This isn't the 90s, definitely not the 80s, but you have to please yourself, but also you got to anticipate almost the media frenzy.
All right, so the album is coming out in the next couple months. February, you guys are kicking off your next tour at Turning Stone Resort. What do you guys have to say to anybody who's coming out to see you guys?
Wow, thanks for the support. Really come check out this show. We got a whole new stage show. We got a whole new set list. We'll be really promoting songs from The Verdict on this tour.
Yeah, they'll even hear some songs before the release live. We're playing some good healthy dose of Verdict stuff, and then some other tunes from Condition Human in the 2013 that we've never played before.
Yeah, so we're shaking it up. It's going to be a really good tour. Really excited to have Fate's Warning on the tour, so it's going to be a good package, and played with those guys many times in the past, and they're great. So we really hope everybody can come check out this show.
We usually do this before we close out any interview. We just give you guys a quick lightning round. Just answer these questions as quickly as possible. This is just for fun. We just throw this on at the end of the interview, all right? So here we go. That is actually the first question. Boxers or briefs?
What do they call it when you don't wear any?
Commando.
Commando. Briefs.
Boxers.
Chicken or steak?
Chicken.
Steak.
Waffles or pancakes?
Waffles.
Pancakes.
Black Sabbath, do you prefer Dio or Ozzy?
Dio.
Both.
Who would win in an arm wrestling match, Lemmy or God?
Lemmy.
It's a trick question. Lemmy is God. And finally, the band is stranded on a desert island. Which member is eaten first?
Eddie,
because he's healthy.
he's the biggest.
And I like Mexican food.
All right, I think that'll just about do it. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. We really appreciate it.